In today's adventure, we take a look at 10 things that you should know before buying the TRAXAS MAXX.
And one thing that could save you hundreds of dollars, not only on this RC, but on any RC, coming up. Hey, what's up guys? I'm Joe.
And I'm Amber with the
RC Kiwis. On this channel we do everything from bashing, crawling, speed runs, unbox reviews and much more.
So if you're new here, consider subscribing. That way you won't miss out on any of our future RC adventures.
Now we've had our TRAXAS MAXX for a little over a year now. We've taken it to skate parks, bike parks, motocross parks, racetracks and many more places. So we've gotten to know our TRAXAS MAXX quite well. And we also have a fair idea on what's good to get spare parts on and what are some decent upgrades. So in no particular order, starting with the number one thing that you should know before you buy the TRAXAS MAXX. Look at that brand new shiny body. It's not going to be like this for very long, so we better capture it. Is you'll need a 3-cell LiPo or 4-cell LiPo battery, a LiPo battery charger, and 4 AA batteries to get this truck up and running. Now we run 4-cell LiPo batteries, and make sure that when you get your LiPo that it does fit the truck's battery tray. And if you go for a LiPo battery that is not the TRAXAS batteries without the TRAXAS ID connectors, you are going to need either an adapter or you have to change the connectors on the truck. We've gone ahead and put EC5 on our truck because we normally run either EC5 connectors or IC5 connectors. Come over here. Oh, there we go. There's the first run.
The second thing you should know when buying the TRAXAS MAXX is experience level. Could this be your first RC? Yes, absolutely. This was actually my second RC and I love this truck. It is so easy to jump, it's so easy to backflip, and it's super easy to control. I think it's awesome for a beginner. But if this car is a little bit out of your price range, we're going to leave a few links in the description box down below of cheaper alternatives that also make awesome first RC cars if you are interested.
The third thing you should know when buying the TRAXAS MAXX is stock of spare parts. It's worth considering getting some spare parts when picking up the TRAXAS MAXX because unlike upgrades, which can be very expensive, stock spare parts are generally pretty cheap, sometimes only a few dollars. For us, we've broken things like the front bulkhead, the chassis, the caster blocks, and a shock rod, a few other little things. We're going to leave a list of all the parts that we've broken during our bashing sessions in the description down below because it could be worth picking up some of those parts before they go out of stock because as we all know, spare parts do like to go out of stock just when we need them.
We didn't hit him.
The fourth thing you should know before you buy the TRAXAS MAXX is about the gearing. Guys, stock out of the box, we got this RC to approximately 80 kilometers an hour, which is pretty quick for a monster truck. And if you are looking at getting more speed out of this thing and you do start playing around with that gearing, keep in mind that the electrics do have a heat limit. And this is where we suggest to you that you get a temperature gun. If you don't have one, we're going to leave the one that we use in the description box down below.
A middle spur gear, the 50-tooth spur gear, and lower your pinion from a 24 to either a 22 or a 20-tooth pinion. The fifth thing that you should know before you buy the TRAXAS MAXX is it's all about tyres. Now we know a thing or two about tyres. We've had the stock tyres, we've got these road ready tyres that we currently love on our TRAXAS MAXX. We've had 3.8-inch Badlands, we've had some pedal tyres, we've also got some sledgehammer tyres, all kinds of tyres. But what's important to note is that if you get tyres that are large diameter compared to your stock tyres, there's a good chance you're going to have to go down in your gearing or in your pinion size. And that links on from Amber's point at point number 4. If you keep the stock gearing with bigger tyres, it's going to be doing more work at the motor, and that means more heat. And it also means that at lower settings of throttle, when you try to get this car moving, it could start clogging or not working properly. So if you go up in tyre size, make sure you go down in your pinion size.
Now we're halfway through the video, guys. If you've got any value out of it so far, make sure you go ahead and you hit that like button and hit subscribe while you're at it. And don't forget, as always, this car, along with everything else that we're talking about in this video, will be linked in the description box down below if you're interested. Now let's get on to number 6.
Oh no! That was a bad landing. The sixth thing that you should know before you buy the TRAXAS MAXX is it's all about tools. when you buy this RC, it does come with the very basic tools to get you going, but we recommend picking yourself up a nice toolkit. It'll make your job a lot easier when performing maintenance on your RC. And yes, that's right, you're gonna have to perform some maintenance whether you love it or you hate it. It's a saying that you gotta do to keep your car running at 100%. Plus, you may need those tools when you are fitting upgrades or when you break parts and you replace them.
The seventh thing that you should consider when buying the TRAXAS MAXX is the upgrades. We actually consider doing no upgrades in the beginning. We suggest that you go as hard, as fast, and have as much fun with it stock out of the box as you can, but eventually you are going to break something. So that is when we suggest that you consider upgrading that part that you broke. And if you haven't already, make sure you go and check out our top 5 upgrades video that will be linked in the description box down below.
The 8th thing that you should know when buying the TRAXAS MAXX is all about the shock fluid weight. Now, stock out of the box, the TRAXAS MAXX comes with 30 weight in the front and 30 weight in the rear. Now that's pretty good for your small to medium sized jumps, and it's also good for its handling. But if you're anything like us and like to do the big jumps, it may be worth going up in your shock fluid weight. Because when we took this out to a skate park and we did some pretty big jumps, the RC would chassis slap, and that's where the chassis of the RC would hit the ground with quite some force. Now sometimes that can be okay, but if it has too much of an impact, it may cause damage to your electrical components or even the chassis. In our case, the chassis actually cracked. So what we went ahead and done is we went 60 weight shock fluid in the front and rear, and ever since we've done that, we've found the RC has held up a lot better in those big jumps. However, your handling of the RC may be impacted.
The 9th thing that you should know before buying the TRAXAS MAXX is the TRAXAS MAXX wide kit. If you're having issues with your car flipping over, which happened to us a lot in the very beginning, consider upgrading to the TRAXAS MAXX wide kit. It will help keep your car more stable, it'll give it easier handling, and it will also maintain the durability of your truck.
Just make sure that when you do go ahead and purchase the TRAXAS MAXX wide kit, get the version 2. Version 1 didn't come with the extra long axles, whereas version 2 does. And we're gonna have version 2 linked in the description down below. We're gonna show you how to clean your RC in 3 simple steps without water. Finally, the 10th thing that you should know before you buy the TRAXAS MAXX, or any RC for that matter, is keep your RC clean and dry. Most importantly, dry. If you allow your RC to sit there and it's wet, it might say the RC is waterproof, but that doesn't mean that the bearings are waterproof. And over time, those bearings may seize up or get rusty, and that's gonna cause problems. It could mean that your electrics fail, and it's gonna cost you hundreds of dollars potentially. Could mean other parts on your RC, like an axle, might fail because the bearing around it wasn't working properly, and as it's rotating, it's gonna build up a lot of heat, weaken the plastics, and then you're gonna get breakages. So it's very important that after you've washed your car off, or after you've played with it in an area where there is a bit of water, make sure you dry it off properly, and consider using an air blower or an air compressor. And we're gonna have what we use linked in the description down below. Well, there you have it, the 10 things that you should know before you buy the TRAXAS MAXX. And we'll say we've owned this RC for over a year now, and we absolutely love it. It's one of our favorite RCs. It's just so durable. But recently it's been taken over by 2 RCs, and we're making a video on that very soon with an update to our top 5 list, and this will be for 2021 so far. Now, if you don't want to miss that video, make sure you go ahead and you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you're notified exactly when we post it.
And don't forget, guys, as always, everything we've spoken about in today's video will be linked in the description box down below if you're interested. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a like anyway. Make sure you're staying safe out there on your RC adventures.
And guys, make sure you go check out the RCKiwis.com. You have a cap, you have a top, you have a hoodie. We're the RC Kiwis, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace out.